Hey guys, I'm Coach Tasha Delk.
I'm Cleo the coach. What's going on? What's going on?
Yes, and we are here with another episode of Marriage Mondays. And we are talking to
Episode 4.
Yes, episode 4.
For sure.
We are talking to wives in waiting, husbands in waiting. We are talking to newlyweds. We are newlyweds.
For sure.
We can talk to that. And then also, so we're talking to single people. And we just want to be able to bring to you guys different questions that we are being asked. We're asked a lot of questions from friends, family, and also other people who have seen our walk, who have wanted to get advice from us and things. So we just want to be able to kind of do it a little bit more publicly. If you guys have any questions or have any topics that you desire for us to speak about, we would definitely love to hear from you guys. And we would speak about those things. My bone popping. We would speak about those things and bring those. But yes, we are back with Marriage Mondays, and this is episode 4.
For sure.
Yes, super excited about that. And today our subject is about dealing with conflict in marriage. And
Deep conversation. Something that I don't feel like a lot of people want to talk about either. So I feel like it's a pain point that most people, I think, kind of go around. So I feel like it is definitely needed to be talked about for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I think conflict is something that is very controversial because, especially like even like for me, I think like I used to didn't know how to deal with conflict. You know, so we'll just go ahead and jump right in.
No, for sure.
But so for me, I didn't used to know how to deal with conflict. I'm very non-confrontational. So I am like the type of person, like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to go back and forth.
I'm the opposite.
So I would just like, so I used to just shut down. Anytime conflict came to me, I used to just shut down.
We're still kind of working through that.
Yeah, but I don't shut down. I don't shut down. I think I shut down like the first time. And we kind of worked through that.
Right. Oh, I guess it's more so when I'm kind of more turned up or a little more upset, you kind of go back.
Like I'm not gonna
you're
do
not
this
kind of
with you.
deal. You don't want to deal with that. You more so just kind of like leave me in my energy that I'm on at that moment.
Yeah. So
I'm very not confrontational, more so in that standpoint, more so than when we're in a disagreement or argument. Not really. Yeah. So I'm speaking more, I guess, on that.
The reason that I shut down, I feel like, and that the reason that I'm like not confrontational is because I like to be conscious of what I'm saying. I don't like to just say whatever. I don't like to just speak out of anger or speak out of just being upset or so I like to speak from a good place even when I'm upset or if there's a disagreement or something going on.
Right.
I don't want to just say stuff because I think that a lot of people just say stuff when they're angry.
Right.
And they say mean. You could say something that's mean, and I know that if I really wanted to be mean, I probably could be.
And that's kind of,
I could be mean.
Men, we have to give women grace. That's what I was trying to say. With that, especially with the verbal side of things, because that's kind of how you guys weaponize. You guys aren't really physically able to get your point across in that mannerism. So we have to allow you guys grace to be able to kind of get whatever you need to get off your chest, because that's how you are able to deal with conflict. As far as women, that's how you battle. You guys aren't physical creatures for real. You guys, that's more so where men kind of that's the first thing. Well, especially from the environment that we come in, we aren't taught to say how we feel or to respond to conflict with conversation. We respond to conflict with physical violence, and so that's the first thing we resort to is violence. And we have to, as men especially, tap into those emotions, tap into learning how to speak and how to communicate what you're feeling instead of He's being violent, and I think that's a big thing with men as well. We gotta work on that.
Yeah, yeah. So in conflict, I used to, like I said, shut down. I didn't really communicate. Like as far as my husband, I know that you used to kind of be a little bit more argumentative.
Yes,
and
I was aggressive. I
and-
definitely was aggressive. I had
Yeah.
some anger issues I had to work through in past relationships.
Yeah.
I definitely was a cursor. I was a yeller. I belittled my
To
partner.
be said things in
Yeah.
anger.
In anger, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I was definitely apologetic very shortly after. Like I always wanted to, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't, I was accountable for my action, but that doesn't excuse my actions.
Right.
And so I had to be understanding of, I need to work on this, because that's I don't want anyone feeling like they have to walk on eggshells around me, or have to tiptoe on how they talk to me, or how they present something to me, because they're worried about how I'm going to react to it.
Yes, I all too well can talk about that from just being in a situation where, you know what I'm saying, that was kind of the dynamic.
No, for sure.
And then you feel like you can never really be real with that person, or bring things to them that you like, oh well, I'm not even finna waste my time, because I'm not finna
turned up like that. Yeah,
right. You don't even want to waste no time and go through that. But like how I deal with conflict now in marriage, I, for one, like I said, we worked through me just being shutting down. I think I shut down our first kind of disagreement, our first argument. I think I pretty much shut down. And, and I was just like, I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not doing this. But
and I'm very much the person that we need to talk about it. I want to get to a solution. I don't want to let this continue to linger, because I'm very energy based. So I need to be. A lot of her energy is it reflects on how my day goes. So I have to be cognizant on how I'm coming. So I make sure I don't throw her off, for her to throw me back. You know what I'm saying? So it's very much like that, though.
Yeah, I shut down our first argument, but now, I make sure that I, keep those lines of communication open. I make sure that I stay open for the communication, but I also, we're accountable to where we can apologize quickly. But like I said, I don't say things out of anger. I, completely take time before I respond, and then just make sure that if I'm in the wrong, then I make sure that I apologize, and that I, give him what he needs,
which is hugs and kisses and to lay on her. I need all that. Come grab me.
In conflict, if I'm in the wrong, then, and one thing about it, I feel like too, is like in marriage, you have to be able to stand to be corrected.
No, for sure.
And you have to be open to that. Like, you can't feel like, oh, well, he be like this or she be like that. No, you have to be able to stand to be corrected. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And you have to be able to take that accountability and stand to be corrected. And then going forward, make the necessary changes and adjustments that you have to make for your mate. Because it's easy to, account for account. He did this, I'm gonna do this. He did this, or she did this. It's easy to rack up those things. But we are very like, it happened,
in the bud type,
and it's gone. It's over. It's done. It happened. And we're usually like good within the next few minutes. I usually need space. Like when he's in the room,
I'm cool in the next few minutes. You need about a good.
Give me about 20 minutes. No, I say about 20 minutes. It ain't gonna be no hour. Leave me alone.
You kind of be wanting your space. So I'll give her a space. I'll be, walk around talking, none of that. I just, all right, babe, I'm gonna let you do your thing. And that's what I've had to learn how to do, because to communicate, because I didn't know how to communicate my feelings. I just was angry. And so I had to learn how to communicate. Now I'm angry, and this is why I'm angry, and not do it in a unloving manner.
Right.
And that's key. When men, it's okay to say how you feel.
Yeah.
But it's not okay to do it in an unloving manner, because they need love, just like we need respect. And to the other side of that, women have to learn how to communicate better with their partners.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women, they just be talking, cussing, and think we just supposed to just be the punching bag for that. And some men don't know how to deal with that. They still on the other end of things. They gonna respond in violence, and they gonna respond in thinking it's okay to put their hands on you, whatever that abuse looks like at the moment. Right. So we have to also understand, well, women have to understand how to communicate as well, and how to not, and it's a way that men can receive things in a respectful manner, and they're going to probably respond in a way that you never thought they would respond to, because of the way that you're asking them to go about it, or the way that you're telling them how you feel. And so that's key too.
Yeah. Well, you kind of had to talk to me about too, like how you felt in that respect, that love respect dynamic.
For sure. I was gonna get in. I got that written down on my. I'm taking notes now. So
as women, just being
more
corrective with our words, and just being choosing, because it's not what you say,
it's how you say
it's how you say it. Sure. And we want to just make sure that we kind of stress that, because
great point, baby, great point.
It's very important. And I think like you can get a lot further if you're careful with what you say.
No, for sure.
Well, I mean, not what you say, but how you say, just better communicate.
Definitely get better results.
Your issue. But yeah, but if you want to talk about that book, The Love She Most Desires and the Respect He So Desperately Needs. So it's called Love and Respect. It's by Dr. Emerson. And that was one of the books that we actually read through our premarital counseling, which kind of taught us how for him to love me and for me to respect him. So we work, a lot of things that we go through, we kind of work at it with that aspect of those things that we learned, the love and respect. And my husband, I know he wanted to touch on the crazy cycle, which is something that the book talks about, and it teaches us, it's something that we learned from the book, was how to remain open in communication and in conflict. And so go ahead, baby, and talk about the crazy cycle.
So that's pretty much, they were speaking on, the book was conflict in the crazy cycle. That's when the man chooses not to respond in a loving way, and that keeps the woman responding to him in a disrespectful way, and that this continues to go on and on and on until someone chooses to, either the man to be loving through the way he chooses to respond next, or the woman just to just give that ultimate respect in the way she chooses to respond next, and not necessarily just for your husband that you're responding to them in this manner, or not just for your wife that you're responding to her in this manner, but this is the way that God wants us to respond to our husband and our wives. So we have to not only be conscious in the way that we're responding because she is our wife, but knowing this is the way that I committed to God to respond to this woman, and this is the way this is what I committed to God to respond to this man. And so as men, we have to love these women as God loved the church. That's unconditional, and that's through any situation. And so, yeah, we have, and that's regardless of how disrespectful she is. You have to continue just to walk that line of love and commit that to God, and then you're committing that to your wife, regardless of how you choose to respond to me. This is the way God wants me to respond to you, and as a child of God, this is how I'm going to deal with this situation. Yeah. I love you, and I'm sorry that you feel that way, and whatever that looks like, however that response is in a loving manner, just be conscious to do that, and not be just aggressive or whatever. What they call it, stonewalling. Don't stonewall, bro. Don't stonewall.
But they have a lot of really good points, and I think that if anybody could really learn, like, how to be a wife or how to be a husband. I think that book is very like powerful.
No, for sure.
And
it's a must read. I think.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Especially if you're in the premarital stage. I feel like it's perfect at any stage because it talks about different situations with people that have been married for years and elderly situations and newly. So it's all types of situations that the book covers and gives you scenarios on how to best deal with them, even personal. It's a lot of personal experiences that they've been through.
Right.
So
right, for sure,
it's a must read, I think, for marriages.
Yeah, and then also even with that topic, when it tells you like to still respond in respect, the video, even when it tells you to respond with respect to your husband, or even if they are acting in an unloving manner, that if they are of goodwill, then eventually they're gonna turn and get back to where they're supposed to be.
For sure.
Or you guys will be able to get back to where you guys like were before. So, but yeah, so that's basically our
conflict episode.
Yeah, our episode on conflict. We just gonna wrap it up. I'm Coach Tasha Dell.
Cleo the coach.
And this is episode 4 of Marriage Mondays. We love you guys.